Thank you. That's such a great introduction. You know, when I first got here, you can literally feel the spirit of this community. I felt, you know, I've been in Maryland for quite some time, and I forgot what it felt about animal. I was like, this community has animal.
Amen.
They got spirit. And that's one of the things that I noticed from the get-go. So I'm truly humbled for being here today, and thank you, Jerry, for that great introduction. I just didn't realize it's a pretty lengthy thing that I've been doing for a while. But let's talk a little bit about why we're here today. So today we gather to pay tribute to the men and women who have worn the uniform of the United States Armed Forces. Those who have served with courage, those who have sacrificed, and those who continue to inspire us through their example. To our veterans that are here today and to their families who carried the weight of that service alongside of you, we thank you from the bottom of our heart. Let's talk a little bit about service itself. And service is more than a word for me. It's a decision, a way of life. It's an act of love. Veterans know this truth well. They set aside comfort, safety, and their own ambitions to stand for freedom and for one another. The Bible reminds us that even the Son of God came not to be served, but to serve. And therefore, we are called to use our freedom not for ourselves, but to serve one another in love. Our veterans embody this truth, and they serve that others may live free. Here in Weslaco, we know that service in a personal way. From the very own city came Corporal Harlan Block. After graduation, Harlan Block enlisted in the Marine Corps, joined in the fight for the freedom during World War II. On February 23, 1945, on the island of Iwo Jima, Corporal Block and 5 fellow Marines raised the American flag atop Mount Suribachi, a moment captured in one of the most iconic photographs in American history. That image came to symbolize the courage and the unity of a nation at war. And one of the hands holding that flag belonged to a young man from this small town. Unfortunately, 6 days later, Corporal Block was killed in action. He was only 20 years old. He never saw the photograph that immortalized him and his fellow Marines, but his spirit lives on. In that flag and in every Marine and in every act of service done for others. Today he rests beneath the Iwo Jima monument in Harlingen, a permanent reminder that the price of freedom is paid by ordinary people who do extraordinary things. Corporal Harlan Block's story reminds us that heroism doesn't come from somewhere far away. It comes from right here, from the soil beneath our feet, from our neighborhoods, from our schools like Weslaco High School, from our churches, and from the hearts of this community. Service always carries a cost. For some, it means the ultimate sacrifice. For others, it means wounds that are both visible and invisible, that remain long after the battle. And we must never forget the families whose quiet sacrifices sustain veterans during long deployments and difficult transitions home. Our freedom is not free. We've said that before. It is written in the lives of those who gave all and those who continue to give. The valley itself has long been tied to America's story of service. During World War I, soldiers trained at Camp Llano Grande near Mercedes, just miles from here. And just down the valley from us, near Brownsville, the Battle of Palmito Ranch. It was the final clash of the Civil War. From those fields near the Rio Grande to the beaches of Iwo Jima, the story of sacrifice has always reached deep into South Texas. For me, this community isn't just a place. It's where the most meaningful moments of my life have unfolded. It was right here in the Rio Grande Valley at the Basilica of Our Lady of San Juan del Valle where I proposed to my wife. So surrounded by faith, family, and in the quiet strength of that holy place, I asked her to begin a life of love and service together. Not long after, we were married at the Villa de Cortes, right here in Weslaco, a building that has stood as a community landmark since 1928, hosting generations of gatherings, dances, and celebrations, resulting in decades of joy, faith, and resilience. 25 years later, my wife and I continue to serve one another in this beautiful life. As we all know, the true strength of a veteran lies within every spouse in attendance today. Let's pause for a moment and applaud the amazing spouses of every veteran that is here today. As we know that there is no stronger commitment that is shown for the magnitude of sacrifice that is given by a veteran spouse. So when I think about these moments, I'm reminded that service doesn't always wear a uniform. Sometimes it begins with small acts of faith, commitment, and choosing to serve one another every single day. That too is the spirit that unites us. The same spirit our veterans live out when they dedicate their lives for the good of others. I see in these memories a reflection of what veterans embody. Service that begins with love, continues through sacrifice, and builds something lasting for generations to come. And service does not end when the uniform comes off. Veterans continue to lead in business, in schools, in churches, and in community service. They show us that service is not bound by time or rank. It's a lifelong commitment. As a follower of Jesus Christ, I believe service has an even higher meaning. Like I said before, Christ himself did not come to be served. He came to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many, just as our veterans have done countless times. Serving others is at the heart of our faith. Veterans protect the vulnerable on the battlefield. Christ calls us to protect and serve the vulnerable in daily life, the poor, the sick, the brokenhearted, the homeless, and the forgotten. When we serve one another, we are serving Christ. So how do we honor our veterans today? We honor them with gratitude, yes, but we also honor them by living a life of service ourselves. In Genesis, when God said, "Be fruitful," he wasn't just telling us to grow in number. He was calling us to grow in purpose, to bear fruit that blesses others. Like a tree that doesn't consume its own fruit, a life of service gives itself to others. You don't have to be a veteran to live this truth. The one thing that I have learned in this life as a husband, father, surgeon, veteran, and most importantly as a human being, is your life is not about you. It's a pretty hard thing to swallow. So I call you to action. Bear the fruits of courage, sacrifice, and devotion, and not for ourselves, but for others. Also bear the fruits that last. It is not wealth, success, or comfort, because all those material things will one day pass. True greatness is not measured by what we have, but by what we give, because our true purpose in this life is to make friends for ourselves in heaven. Not through worldly networking, but through heavenly generosity and service. So on this Veterans Day, may we remember that service is the thread that binds generations, from the soldiers at Palmito Ranch to the recruits of Camp Llano Grande to Corporal Harlan Block of Weslaco, to the veterans standing among us today. To every veteran here, we honor you, we thank you, and we commit to walking in the same path of service you have so bravely shown us. May God bless you, may God bless our veterans, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you so much.